Hello YouTube, hello everybody, my name is The Knight, and today I'd like to do basically reply to a good friend of mine on WrestleZone and on YouTube. His name on YouTube is The Natural Villain. I'd like to reply to his video, his first video, just like this is my first video on this account for my YouTube, of course. But nevertheless, I'd like to reply to his video on if The Rock actually deserves a WWE Championship match at the Royal Rumble. First of all, he does not deserve a WWE Championship match. He does not need to be anywhere near the WWE title. First of all, The Rock is an established name already. The Rock has had multiple WWE title reigns, successful WWE title reigns, and he has solidified himself as one of the greatest and one of the best wrestlers or superstars of all time. He's already done it. That is what he's already done. Triple H does not need another WWE title shot. The Rock doesn't. Brock doesn't. Undertaker doesn't. Maybe somebody is retiring or something, but nevertheless, those guys don't need another WWE title. They don't need to hold the title again. So no, The Rock does not need to be the WWE champion. But it's the Royal Rumble, and him and CM Punk are having a title match, and I think this is going to be a big match. While The Rock does not need the WWE title, and I prefer if this was not for the WWE title, I still think it's going to be a big match. And by no means am I saying that CM Punk deserves to be the champion still, and that he's the best in the world, and all this bull crap that everybody tries to spew, and that everybody always has to say about CM Punk. I don't think he deserves to be the WWE champion. Actually, I don't even know who deserves to be the WWE champion, so I can't even support my points about that, because there's nobody in the WWE. Ryback is still too greedy. I don't want John Cena anywhere near the title. CM Punk has not done much with the title. I mean, he's had some good matches, first of all. He's cut a few good promos, but, I mean, he's a WWE champion, yet the Raw ratings are plummeting. And, granted, I have to understand, and everybody has to understand, there were some big things last month. There was a presidential debate between Obama and Romney. There is still Monday Night Football, the return of the NBA. So a few things could be contributing to Raw's ratings, but still, you'd think that the ratings for Raw would be much higher because CM Punk is a guy who the wrestling fans love. The wrestling fans do not love John Cena, but the Raw ratings are higher when John Cena is champion, compared to when CM Punk is champion, which doesn't make any sense. I mean, Raw used to always draw, like in the last couple of years, like a consistent 3. It was a consistent 3. You'd see on occasion maybe a few 4s, not that much. Well, I'm not too sure, but I know that definitely there was always a consistent 3. But now with Punk, the ratings have been in the 2s, and that's just what I don't understand. I mean, you guys hate John Cena, yet you tune in, but when CM Punk is champion and you guys talk about how much you love him, apparently you don't. I don't know this. Somebody please explain this to me. I may be wrong with what I'm saying. I mean, not about the ratings, but I mean why this is going on. But I just don't understand that. And so that's just what I'm saying about CM Punk being champion, and whether The Rock needs to be the champion. And I'd also like to rebuttal to The Natural Villain on YouTube's points about The Rock. You talked about how The Rock was not a good wrestler. If The Rock had good matches, that makes him a good wrestler. But you said he's not a good technician. In the Attitude Era, wrestling was not based on how good of a technician you were. The Rock was not a good technician. Stone Cold was not a big technician. Yet these are two of the biggest names in the industry. Hogan was not a technician. John Cena is definitely not a technician. Yet these guys' names in wrestling are huge. So, I mean, basically, you don't have to be a technician to be the best in wrestling. The Rock had good matches. The Rock had multiple good promos. The Rock had good matches with Jericho. The Rock had good matches with Benoit. The Rock had good matches with Angle. And it was not that they were all carrying him, which it wasn't. But The Rock is a competitor, and The Rock can have good matches with anybody, basically. I mean, yeah, you talked about John Cena and The Rock's match was not that good. You have to also take into consideration that The Rock has not wrestled consistently in about 10 years. And you talked about The Rock, you also said that The Rock does not care for the WWE and that he's coming back to promote himself. I mean, first of all, if you have a net worth over 70 million, what reason do you have to associate yourself with the WWE? I mean, for Hollywood actors like The Rock, consider anybody in Hollywood, what's first of all, being with the WWE is quite embarrassing to them. I mean, they don't like the wrestling. Wrestling is not pop culture anymore. Wrestling is not as huge as it was when Hulk Hogan was around, or even when The Rock and Austin were around in the Attitude Era. You'd hear wrestling quotes everywhere. You'd know. If I went up to somebody in the street and asked them who Hulk Hogan was, they would tell me, oh, Hulk Hogan, he was this big wrestler. He was very famous. They would tell me that. But still, so why would The Rock, who's in Hollywood, and he's Hollywood's 4th most paid actor, be in the WWE if he has all this money? It's because he cares for his fans. The Rock cares for his fans. That's the only reason why he's come back. And he also mentioned how Brock Lesnar's wrestled more matches. First of all, what does Brock Lesnar do? Brock Lesnar is not in the UFC anymore, so Brock Lesnar has nothing to do that keeps him busy. Brock has had some injuries, I'll give him that, but Brock Lesnar has nothing to do. He is just living with his family. The superstars in the WWE, they have families. Brock Lesnar has nothing to keep him busy. The Rock is always busy. Follow him on Twitter. You're always going to say, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. He's always busy. Brock Lesnar is not that busy. And who's getting paid the most? Brock Lesnar is getting paid $5 million for these little appearances that he makes. The last time I saw him was SummerSlam. I haven't saw him since. Apparently he quit storyline-wise, but whatever. The Rock is getting paid less than that. I'm not too sure how much he's getting paid, but he's getting paid less than Cena because Cena is second to Lesnar on who gets paid the most. Lesnar is getting paid $5 million for having a few matches every month and having very few appearances. So if you really wanted to mention that, I mean, The Rock is busy. The Rock has things to do, and The Rock has no reason to associate himself with the WWE. He's accomplished everything, and he doesn't need to be in the WWE anymore. But the only reason why he's there is because of his fans. And you said how he talked about how he didn't want to be called The Rock, how he wanted to be called Dwayne. First of all, The Rock was not allowed to call himself The Rock because the rights for The Rock character was owned by the WWE. Hence why he had to call himself Dwayne Johnson. But even though he still was called The Rock a lot of times, and even in some of his old movies, you'll see The Rock instead of Dwayne Johnson at the credits, as somebody mentioned on WrestleZone yesterday in a debate. So The Rock had no rights to The Rock character. The Rock gained rights for The Rock character when he came back to the WWE in 2011. That's when he fully signed for rights of The Rock character in 2011. So even if he wanted to be called The Rock, he had to be Dwayne Johnson. But now he owns The Rock, so now he's called Dwayne The Rock Johnson because people in Hollywood know him as Dwayne Johnson, and people in the WWE know him as The Rock. So, right, those are just a few points right now that I just wanted to basically illustrate and to voice my opinion about. And I hope to hear from you. I hope to hear from everybody else very soon. Whether you agree with me, whether you don't agree with me, it's all about you. I'm going to continue to keep making videos, and just ciao for now.